Hello again, everyone. This is Marlene, and I have Sappho here. But this is the very same afternoon where I earlier made a video on Cluvella den Ville, my wood splitter, which is way back over there. And I wasn't going to make any more videos today because it was going to rain all afternoon. And I will ask of you to take a look at the skies here. Does that look like rain to you? No, it doesn't. And it's 4 o'clock now, and it was supposed to start raining around midday, and it was supposed to rain all afternoon. So all of my wood stacks were covered. All my planning went to just cut a little bit with Cluvella until the rain should come, and then I would go shopping, drive into the village to do some shopping. But the rain stayed away, and it just got more and more beautiful. And so I've been whacking out here a little bit, but my stacks are still covered because I didn't know that it wasn't going to rain. I thought all the time that it was going to rain because they promised. My weather app is usually very optimistic about rain, so it normally tells me, oh, there's not going to be any rain, and then there is anyway. But the other way around, that's very rare. So they missed the point completely today. Look at that, look at that. Blue skies all over. Now, I'm going to just show you what I've been doing and talk a little bit about firewood, because I realized a thing. I realized that I have a little bit of an intellectual misconception, I guess you could say, of what common knowledge is. It's so that when I know how to do things, or the things that I'm knowledgeable in or capable of, I think that that's just common knowledge. That's something everybody knows. And I do know that I look at other people who know and do things that I can't do, and I think they're extremely clever and expert like, but everything that I do and can and know is kind of common knowledge, and that everybody can do it, but they can't. And I've been told, and I've realized that although I have only at this moment 32 followers, and I know some of you are very good with wood, maybe some of you are not. Maybe some of you have never handled an axe or a saw or a piece of wood before. So I'm going to go to the bottom of it and explain a little bit. And in doing so, I'll show you the wood and my saw instead of showing you me. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm just going to take you on a little tour here. Just a minute. There you go. Now this is my sawbuck, and I put stuff up in that. And this is a very, very good saw. This is a saw that is used for sawing branches. Now, this trunk I have lying up here is, I will compare it to my hand. Not very easy to see, but she's not that thick. We're just gonna muscle her down here. So you can see it's just half the size of my hand. My hand is 17 centimeters. So this will be about 8 centimeters, which is about 4 inches wide. Now, you could put these up in the sawbuck. You could put 3 or 4 of them up at one time and cut them with the chainsaw. I have several of them lying, and that would be easy and fast, and you could do that. A chainsaw is noisy, and it takes gasoline, and It is not necessary because I have Jagger Irvin here and he's a good buddy. Now, what I need is 30 centimeters. Why do I need 30 centimeters? Because they go in my oven in the living room, and everything goes in there if it's not longer than 30. But it's nice to have them rather in uniform length. It's nice for when you split them. It's nice for when you stack them later. That they are approximately the same length. So now I know that this saw at number I'm sorry, at number 1, 2, 3 of the big holes and to the tip of it, that's 30 centimeters. So I just measure it every time. And right here you can see it goes into a knot, and there's a knot on the other side. So what I decide with a piece like this is to go here instead. Then it'll be around 35 or something like that. And that fits my kitchen stove. I can store it with all the other pieces. That doesn't matter. It still needs to be split, it still needs to be moved, and it still needs to be stacked after it has been dried. So all that process of moving it and laying it out to dry and then that's not an issue with the length of it. I can do that with any length. And then first when it's proper dry and I need to stack it or take it in and stack it in the house, that's when it's a bit important that it's 30 centimeters. So until then, all the length go in together. Now what I have over here is an old stack of birch wood. And I have cut some branches up today. I don't know if you can see it or you can figure it out that these are the new ones that I cut this afternoon. These in here have been lying out here. But Melina, they're not supposed to lie out in all kinds of weather. Yes, I know, but they are not in contact with the soil. They are sitting up on a pellet, and they are covered in birch bark and not in contact with the earth. So I've checked it out and it's fine. It is hardwood in under the birch. You can see, or under the bark. You can see out here, they have shed their skin, and this is still very fine. It's not rotten or anything. It's wet, of course, but it hasn't been eaten up by rot. It can be used, and it shall be used. Why is it lying there? Well, that's because I have another deficiency, or I have a couple. There are 3 things that are my major problems, and they are interconnected. I never finish things that I have started, and I am lazy, and I am very disorganized. And when those 3 things work together, I don't get anything done. I haven't been splitting those because I haven't had a proper place to put them, because I have started that woodshed over there and haven't finished it. So I thought it would be better to leave them whole and not split, because they would last longer. And they have, and that's a good idea. Now, why am I starting now? I am because now I have made room up there behind that stack. And that's where my long run for seasoning wood is. So I thought I would store some wood up there to have it lie out here to season and to dry up before getting stacked up somewhere, either in one of these stacks or some other way. And then I thought, there is not room for very much there, unless I can make a back wall. So, because when I put it on this mesh, as you can see, I'll have to make the ridge in the middle, and they'll just fall down to the sides, and they cannot fall longer to the sides than there and there. And that doesn't hold a lot of wood. So I thought if I build a fence all along here, up to hip height, 1 meter up, what will that be? 3 feet, something like that, 3-4 feet up. Then I could store a lot more wood on that. I thought, how am I going to build that? Well, I do have that piece of fencing over there. Maybe I could use that, or maybe I could just weave with branches or hold up. Yeah, I know, Sappho, but I cannot throw that big stick. Come on, come, you can bring it. So what I wanted to do was to put in some fence posts, and I have them. And where are they? They are under all of these birch trunks, because the birch trunks are lying upon them. So these are very good fence posts. They're already pointed, and they are used as fence posts. They're all fence posts I got from a neighbor, and I have enough here, and they're very sturdy. They're very good. But I gotta get them out. And then I thought, well, you could move all of these birch trunks and just put them somewhere else to get to the fence post. But why would I do that when the sawbuck is right here next to it? So what I decided to do was to get each and every one up and to saw them into 30-centimeter pieces with the little Jack Irvin. Now what I do when I saw them is I always start from the heavy end. There are several reasons for that. Because if I would start from the thinner end, I do have to move the trunk a lot when I'm sawing, because to have room for the next piece to be sawed, I move the trunk up there. And if I should saw it from the thin end, then I would always have to move the heavier piece of the trunk all the time. So I don't do that. And also, when I start from the thicker end, then that's harder to cut. It takes longer to cut through. Boom. But then as I progress, because I need to finish that one. I know I told you I don't finish things, but I do finish small things. So I want to finish a whole trunk. And instead of going from the easy end, and then it gets harder and harder, and you have to saw through more, I start from that end, and the trunk gets easier and easier to move, and it gets easier and easier and faster to saw through it. So that's just my philosophy. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. That's just my way to do it, and that's a right one. But no, it's a logical way to do it, and it works for me. So I cut those up, and it actually doesn't take very long. What is that? That's number 4 or 5 in half an hour. So they will be gone either before evening or tomorrow. And then I can get to my fence posts, and I can get to dig some holes out at the other end there, and then I can see what kind of fencing or wall system I would go with. So yes, that's the saw. That's the one hand saw I have. And I have other saws, and I have other axes, and I'm going to show you in other videos. Maybe it'll be a sequence of videos. It would maybe not be in one video that I show you all of my tools to go about my firewood with, but maybe 1 or 2 or 3 videos. I don't know. Give me a like, give me a comment if you want to see more of me handling tools, and I'll put the camera down, and then you'll just watch me sawing away or axing away. Let me know what you prefer to see, and I'll try to make it for you. Anyway, that's all for this one, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye, everyone.